Can it get any better? That's all I want to ask.
I don't think so, man.
I don't know, man. The virtual eighth mile is where we're at right now. This is the Going Bracket Racing YouTube channel, guys. Welcome in here. Hope you bring your fun and your coolers with you. Let's have a little fun out here at Eighth Mile. What do you think, Casey?
Yeah, man, this has been pretty wild, man. It's been up and down, but I can tell you right now that hats off to the folk promotion staff and everybody out there at South Georgia, man, because they have run this faster than every million I've ever watched, I think. And now there's been no, cross your fingers, I don't want to jinx it, but there haven't been any oil downs, there haven't been any wrecks. There's been some almost wrecks and some drops, but we won't talk about that. But dude, the thing that I have to talk about mostly, these Brodick cylinder heads that were put on Kevin Brannon for the Headhunter Award, nobody's won them yet. Kevin Brannon's still holding them. The winner of last year's million is still holding them in the exact same car. And I'm not talking, oh, this is Kevin Brannon's new car and that was his number. No, this is the exact same car, and we're down to 14 cars right now, and KB is one of them, George. Is somebody going to take these heads away from KB?
I don't know, man. Obviously, the bounty's on his head and he knows it. But was that smart is the next question. Putting a bounty on Kevin Brandon's head is basically saying, hey, we're coming after you, and then poking the bear. Almost like to say, oh, really, is what he's saying right now. Oh, are you? And I know one person he had two entries in at one point, and early on, one person took that first entry down, and everybody was like, oh, they got him, he got the heads. But no, that's not the correct car number to win the heads. So that's why we're still talking about this. And guys, before we keep going, this is new to us. This is something we're going to try to do more often. I'm noticing my computer lagging just a little bit on my camera, so bear with our mouths not syncing up to our lip, or our lips not syncing up to our voices. That kind of sucks. I hate to do that, but yeah, man, I'm gonna tell you what, dude. This is shaping up to be quite the event. We're at what, 16 cars left?
Dude, we are at 14 cars left, and the thing that I want to say about Kevin Brandon is it is amazing. First of all, it's amazing what Kevin Brandon can do in a race car, but second of all, I just can't believe how much Kevin Brandon flies under the radar. Like, we always hear about Jeff Serra, Nasty Nick. You know, we always hear about, well, now we're hearing about Kyle Cotrera, who, honestly, if it wasn't for Jeff Serra's year, Kyle Cotrera would be the Jeff Serra we would be talking about.
Sure.
Kyle Cotrera has been just driving lights out this entire year, man. But you know what I think we should do, George? I think we should just call some people on the phone and see what they have to say about this. What do you think?
I'm down with that for sure.
Let's see if some people answer their phones.
Hey, give somebody a call. Who you got? You call first, and I'll call second. Let's see if I can.
I'm getting ready to call. I think I'm going to call my buddy Dylan Green here real quick and see what he has to say about this whole deal. Let me see here if I can find his phone number in here. I was just talking to him last night. He was hanging out on the back patio drinking a few Michelob Ultras over there. So we'll see. He should be awake by now, right? It's about 24 hours later.
I'd hope so.
Let's ring him.
I'm looking in the chat here. You get him on the line and let me know when you've got him. But Jimmy Noble's calling Trip McCarty, or Caroline will get that bounty.
What's up, buddy?
So, Dylan Green. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. What's happening with you?
You are live on the Going Bracket Racing YouTube channel.
How are y'all doing tonight?
Man, we're just out here watching the million. You watching it?
Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts on this, man?
Man, it's been tough today, hasn't it?
Big time, man.
Oh man.
Tell him, George. Tell him.
Oh, you're saying a mouthful. I'm gonna say it again. I've never seen someone go 2-pack and get loaded up. I don't know if you guys have, but he's 2-pack. Two.
I just realized we're messing this up, George, because I got him on the phone. I got you on my earphones here.
Oh, he can't hear you. He can't hear
George,
you. Yeah.
The whole time. Let me unplug this.
Let's check it out. Go for it.
How about that? Tell him again, George.
Hey, can you hear me, Dylan Green?
I can hear you, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, you said there's some tough drag racing going on out there. You said a mouthful, man. I've never, ever seen anybody lose with a 2-pack. How about I go 2-pack and I go home?
it's one of them things, man. It's and I've talked to Casey about it a lot. You know, even going back to something simple like foot brake racing now. You know, one of our tracks we race at a lot around here's a lot. People are packaging people up like, you know, it's nothing. I went to a racetrack this past weekend. I'm, you know, 10 dead, 313 total, and my guy's sitting right outside of me, 16 total, and that's almost. It's like people are just machines now. They repetitively repeat.
And Dylan, that's exactly what we're talking about here, man. Jamie Holston, a Galat boy, was still doubled whenever there were. So he's got one in right now at 14 cars. So at 28 cars, Jamie Holston was still doubled.
And that's one of those things. It's almost completely unheard of. I mean, but it's becoming more common. You know, when we go to a racetrack now. I used to think, especially because I don't hit it off the top too much. I foot brake a lot, but going to the racetrack, I used to would think, okay, 15, 20 on the tree will be good. You know, that can get me through. You know, being 15, one above, but not no more. Just double O, and you better be dead on something.
Dude, you're saying a mouthful, and the thing is at the end of the day, though, every once in a while you can sneak through a few rounds. I know until this round, Will Holloman put together a good run this round and just got flat out beat by an amazing run. But the last two rounds, Will was no better than 45, and he was working his way through.
Man, and I seen a post on GVR this week, and it was talking about someone said live feeds don't. I guess someone said something about live feeds don't show out look. But it ain't exactly what I commented on the post was, and this is what I meant by it. A lot of the times on a live feed, what you hear is such and such is 006, dead on 612 total. But a lot of the times what you don't hear is the missed commentary as far as like, okay, such and such's opponent is going to be upset with that time slip. He was a little late, but then his opponent's 30, taking the win light. You know,
right?
There's a lot to that, and I mean, I'll be honest with you right now. My pick, and I've been riding with him all year in the Monza. Kevin Brandon, KB, I like Jamie, man. I would love to see Jamie win because he's a homeboy.
Right.
I mean, he's close. He's close to home, and I like Jamie, and so is Kevin. But Kevin's been just nasty all year long. He needs one.
That's right, and that is true, man. Is that I've never thought about that, but KB hasn't really had that big win this year per se, has he?
Nope.
And what would be?
I mean, he's been in finals. He's been close. He's been driving the wheels off of everything.
Right, and if there's one person that can back-to-back million, Kevin Brandon is definitely up there.
Definitely. He's in the top, man. He's just as relaxed in a race car. That's the big thing for people all the time, and I've even done it. You know, for some reason I can turn on win lights, and I can go rounds. I can go 6-7 rounds a weekend, go to the finals, and I just can't get that composure to be calm enough to win. You know, and then you got a weekend like I had this past weekend. I'm 13 total in the car breaks.
Yep.
With the second entry, you know, and I'm like, well, daggone, I felt the most comfortable that I felt in a long time. I've been as calm as I could be, and something happens, you know.
That's the reason they call it racing and not winning, man. Like at the end of the day, everything has to go right, and it could be something like weather, it could be track conditions. You could be on and the car could be on, and then the track's bad, or you could have scenarios like. Well, for example, George, what were we saying on, what was it, 20K day? What was that, Tuesday or Wednesday? Man, they were slinging some slop out here.
Slop. It's like get the slop out early. But then whenever it's time to turn it up, everybody's always there. So what are we saying, about the 4th or 5th round-ish, where the slop was really, it was really sloppy 4th or 5th round. I don't think you're going to see that tonight. I think he's announcing there's 14 cars left right now. Casey, who's left in the show right now?
People left in the show right now. Listen up, Dylan, because you got to pick one of these guys, man. So, and we know you already picked KB, so I guess we'll roll with them. I'm going to name the people off, and you decide if you're going to change your mind here, right? So, in the door car side, we got Scotty, we got Nasty Nick, we got Nick Folk, Ricky Jones, and we got Caroline McCarty. all of which are, I mean, definitely in contention for the win if you're just looking at this on paper. Dragster side, Adam Russell, Michael Pennington, Champ McCrory, KB, Tim Smith, Cameron Manuel, John Brannon, Sam Patrick, and Jamie Holston. You change your mind or you're rolling with KB?
Man, I'll be honest with you, and this is tough. If I had to pick 4, and I like KB. Like I said, I would roll with KB. I hope Kevin Brandon wins. As far as what I do, as far as foot braking goes, it would be absolutely astounding to see Nick win. What he's doing is, and see, the thing is, people always talk, well, it's, foot braking and pro, and I try to explain, yes, the quality of drivers and cars in Super Pro or Top Bulk is tough, but on a bad day, letting go of the button, if, say you're 40, if you can be 40 every time, you can take some numbers out the box and be good.
Mm-hmm.
If you're foot braking and you're driving bad, it's very tough to correct that.
Right. You just can't do it. You can't do it immediately. You have to do a ton of stuff to make it happen.
You're going to change air pressure and tires. You're going to change staging pattern. You're going to change converter, what you're leaving on the RPM on the converter.
Nick's been known to change his entire front wheel setup, like literally change the tires.
Yes, sir. And then, so behind me, if I had one more, it'd probably be Caroline McCarty.
That's what I was going to say.
She's closer to my age, and when I think about young people, I got to the finals a couple of weeks ago, and when I started looking around, we had like 80 entries at the start of the day, which ain't nothing for a weekend race, but when I started looking around at 3 cars, everybody was below the age of 23.
Right.
We had a boy that was 16. We had a boy that was 21, and I'm 23. And that's I'm so.
Hang on, guys. Hang on, Casey.
John Brandon,
hang on, Casey.
Lane choice.
Hang on.
Over Ricky Jones.
Hang on, Dylan.
Cameron Manuel.
George having him a tech issue.
Over Scotty Richards.
No. They're talking.
Oh, Ryan's talking?
Yeah, no, they're giving
Smith.
the ladder.
Jamie Holston, lane choice over Adam Russell. Battle of the blower cars there. Miss Caroline McCarty, lane choice over Champ McCrory.
Caroline's got Champ's
Michael
performances
Pennington,
in
lane
another.
choice over Nick Hastings. And Sam Patrick, lane choice over Kevin Brandon. So, John Brandon, lane choice over Ricky Jones. Cameron Manuel, lane choice over Scotty Richardson. Nick Folk, lane choice over Timmy Smith. Jamie Holston, lane choice over Adam Russell. Caroline McCarty, lane choice over Stephen McCrory. Michael Pennington, lane choice over Nick Hastings. And Sam Patrick, lane choice over Kevin Brandon.
You're all good, Casey. Man, so
What do you think, Dylan? That change your mind at all?
Man, so I said 4, and my last one was Champ, Steve McCrory. Man, ever since I've got involved with Champ, I buy a lot of things from him. And he has been probably one of the most humble winning drivers that I've ever spoken to. When I talk to him, man, I can send him pictures. I can just be like, hey man, look at this ticket. Here's how the weekend's going, stuff. And literally, he's racing $1 million right now.
Yeah.
If he wins round 5 or if he loses, if I'm at the racetrack and I say, hey Champ, check this out, he's gonna be like, he's so enthused by it. He's a top-notch guy. He is. He's good people.
And you got that right, man. Because the other day, whenever he won that 100K at Darlington, I texted him literally right when he crossed the finish line. Pretty much, I texted him. And he's already texting me, thank you so much, or whatever. And I know he's getting out of the car or something.
Man, but you know how that is when you go to a race and you win, especially something like a big money race.
Right.
Even a 20 grander like that. When I know how it is to win a local weekend bracket race.
Right.
I've seen it. I haven't been able to do it. I've seen it. I've seen people do it, and they come out the car and there's just people, flooding them. Man, congratulations, And for someone like that, only you can imagine at that scale, I've been to some big money stuff. For him to take the time like that, he's just a great guy. So, like I said, my picks probably fall. There's no specific order, but I do like KB. I would love to see KB.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't happen to a better guy. I can tell you that. I mean, that dude, I've never met him in person, never talked to him, but I've never heard a bad thing about him. I mean, there's a lot of people on this list I've literally never heard a bad thing about. I've never heard a bad thing about Nasty Nick. I definitely never heard a bad thing about Caroline. I heard she's the sweetest person you ever meet in your life.
True,
Yeah,
which
I mean,
leads me to my picks.
From all I can tell, her and Corey are probably the most competitive couple that you've ever met in racing. Like they go down there to Carolina Dragway last weekend and
Clean house.
Just swept it.
Corey wins on Saturday, and then in Corey's post I'm reading and he goes, of course sweet Miss Thing, she can't let us have our moment. She's gonna win on Sunday because she don't want to have to hear about it the whole ride home.
Yep. Man, I tell you what, that's I heard something also about Carol had been dragging them all around or something like that, and then Bug shows up and they win everything, and now he's all on her because he's like, I show up and we win everything.
So here's my pick too, and I think just because she's so hot, like hot as in letting go of the button, winning races, all that other stuff. I mean, no pun intended. I mean, I'm not saying she isn't, but I am married. Sorry about that. It kind of read between the lines here, guys. I'm talking about on the racetrack, all right? But she's been winning quite a bit, man. And watching her race today, it looks like she's in a zone. She's making the right decision at the tree. She's hitting the tree. She's making the decisions down the track. Not taking anything from Champ McCory at this point because he's been doing the same. So hopefully I'm not sounding all like buzzy and you can hear me okay out there, but my computer's definitely not liking all these 5 monitors I got going on around me. So
I'll tell you what.
You know the thing about it is, and I'm not meant to put you off this.
No, go ahead.
The thing about it is, and George, you drive, and Casey, you drive, and obviously I drive. When you get in that moment, when you start going rounds, you get a different kind of focus about you. And I've told people multiple times, I generally have a big crowd of people at the racetrack with me. My girlfriend, my mom goes some, my dad goes some. People go, I got people around, friends, family friends, my buddies, Casey, and
don't forget Lucy. Don't you forget Lucy.
Lucy's there, man. When Lucy wants to lick me and kiss me, she's sweet.
That's my dog, by the way, everybody.
That's right. That's right. So, but when you get in that zone, sometimes, and I try to explain to people that I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be like I'm not paying no attention to the people around me, but you got to literally get a mindset in your head. When I go to the water box, I'm gonna do this burnout. When I go up here to the state, in the car, I'm gonna put the top bulb on, and I might twitch my head 2 times to the right, and I'm gonna grab the button and let go of it real quick just to practice let go of it, and then I'm gonna pull the car back in low gear, and I'm gonna bump till I see it flicker. There's a whole lot. I mean, even down to whenever I get in the car at the trailer, I got a routine. If my girlfriend goes to the racetrack and she kisses me before
I do it every time.
I get in the car at the trailer, she better kiss me every time before I get in the car at the trailer and not in the staging lanes.
Hey, if she doesn't, then you know why you lost.
The whole time, whether I'm staying at the racetrack that night or I'm going home, I'm going, Shug, you can't do that. You can't go get a phone cake whenever it's going into 6th round. You know what I mean?
Yep. I hear you, man. I'm trying to teach my wife about that too. She just laughs, but we all get going on that type of stuff, man. And half of racing is legitimately a head game. How many of these rounds have you seen where people like Edmund Richardson even was winning or losing, whatever. But the point is, one of the greatest that's ever done it figured that he was going to drop with a guy because he figured that's what that guy was going to do and wins that round 3 above. I mean, it's mindset. That's
another thing. It's so hard now to, you can kind of go to a back roads country racetrack, that's got a crowd of 50 bracket racers every night, and you can say, I've been driving good at big races. I'm going to hold 6 numbers tonight. But I'm going to tell you, you cannot go to these racetracks, especially like one for me to Big Lot or Darlington or Virginia Motorsports Park. You cannot go to these places with the mentality, I'm gonna hold 6 numbers. I mean, not unless you're Jeff Sarah.
Right.
And I'm going to second that. I'm gonna bump in off that, Casey, because I watched Sean Sarah hold 6, and I think he was racing Johnny Bracket Racer. So it's like, you mean to tell me you've got the nads to hold 6 versus
against one of the greats?
Against one of the, that's saying something. That's like, hey, I'm in my zone. I'm gonna do my thing. You hold 6 versus, man. So that shocked me a little bit. And then I think he ended up getting a win too. So I think JBR might have been red in that round. But it's just things like that. People are coming in, they're doing their thing, and you got to be up to par at these big races to be able to do that kind of stuff.
No doubt, man. You got to have the most. And it's going back to going bracket racing. Not everybody's got the income, the race on the scale like some of these people, but and I think that takes a lot to do in the money factor. When you're racing for some of this stuff right here, you get a mentality about yourself like, okay, buybacks are $500. Do I really want to have to buy back? So maybe you try a little harder. And some of these other people, they're blessed to do it, and they're great at it. But you just roll on, and these people, like, they literally have this mindset. They're machines. When they do something, they do it the same way every time. They're repetitive. Just my buddy one of the men I drive for, he had a boy driving his Super Pro car the past few weeks, and he won a race, and he said, "Man, he's an alien. He's a freaking alien. He rolls his window up the same way every time. He lets go of the button the same way every time. No worse than 10 all night.
And that man you're talking about too, as far as the owner's great guy and the guy who's driving's an equally great guy. And if he had some backing, he would be in this right now. We'd be talking about it.
If I was ever in any position to give Brandon Lane the money to race for a living and do it every week, I would put him against Jeff Sarah, Will Holloman, Kevin Brandon. I put him against anybody. He is equally, and that's the thing. Everybody at this level, I don't really think that one outweighs the other. People tend to forget at this point in time. A lot of luck plays into this factor.
Yes.
50% of what you get right out of the gate is how you pull in the staging lanes.
Right. No, exactly. I mean, like I said. And the only reason because I don't know Will Holloman, he's not my buddy, and I'm not trying to rip on him or anything, but the reason I'm using him as an example is because he just won the 50 at this race, not a 50. He won the 50. What was it? Yesterday? 2 days ago?
Yes,
sir. But my point is he realistically, if you look at the timesheet, if you just look at his time slips, 3rd and 4th round, he shouldn't have been in either one of those next rounds.
Buddy, it's all about the look of the draw sometimes.
Right. And who knows, that guy next to him might have been, it's Will Holloman. He just won the 50 and psyched him out. You never know. It's good.
And I've done that. It's a hard thing to oversee sometimes. In Casey, one of the ones that Eric K-Man.
Yes.
Not everybody knows him. He's had a name, and he's been to some big shows and stuff, but when I foot brake race against him, every time I've ever raced Eric, he's been double O.
Yep.
Double O. The last lap we had together, he was 006, I was 3.
He's your Austin Brown. That's what Austin Brown is to me, man, because I was.
But he sits inside me, and every time I get beside Eric, I go, man, I'm either going to click it real good or I'm going to be real.
Yeah.
So, Casey, why don't you get one of those questions queued up so we can give one of those BRG helmet hooks away. Brian Garrett, gracious enough to give us 5 helmet hooks to give away. Cue up one of your questions real quick, because I think we're about to have some action on the track here in just a moment. So cue up a question.
Chat, or you want me to ask it? What do you want me to do?
Ask it live right now, and then the chat is going to have to hear it and answer the question. The first correct answer will win a helmet hook from BRG 3D printed parts. So make sure you guys are listening. I hope you aren't going anywhere.
Man, y'all go ahead. I want to give everybody an opportunity. I legitimately know how it is to race and try, to do my best and everything. So I really want the people in the chat that are partaking in this, because it's in the evening time. I want everybody to have a good chance at it. So y'all go ahead.
Cool, man. Well, the question is, number one, first question. You ready, George?
Mm-hmm.
Who was the winner of the very first OG Million? First person to answer gets one.
First person to answer gets a helmet hook from Mr. Brian Garrett himself, BRG.
First person, because I know Dylan Champion's in there right now trying to be like, oh, just put a period real quick, so I'm first one. You know, is he sitting across from you?
Well, he was, man. I walked outside. We're actually all at dinner, and our girl, how do y'all
I think, Casey, I think I have an answer. Casey, I got the answer. Casey, can you hear me?
Here, and tell Big Dylan I'll be calling him here after sixth round.
Go ahead, buddy, man. I appreciate y'all. George, thank you. Casey, thank you. I appreciate y'all, man.
Anytime.
And you have a good
Casey, man, I think I got the answer pretty doggone quick, man. Pretty quick. Could it be TJ Tracy?
That's who it is.
So let's talk about Troy Abercrombie, longtime follower of Going Bracket Racing, chiming in over on the YouTube channel. I mean, I don't think it took Troy 4 seconds to get that answer up there. And so Troy Abercrombie, congratulations. You are our first winner. What we'll need your measurements on what size your bar is. And send us your address. We'll get that information over to Mr. BRG himself. And he will send you a helmet hook for that door slammer that you're working on. Congratulations. Thank you for joining in. Casey, let's cut to the race, man. We got some racing to watch. Hang on, fellas.
Sounds. Now, the question is the sound going to be coming out of my speakers?
Caroline McCarty,
It is.
606 right
They can hear
side
you,
the
they can hear the
Rambler
race,
wagon. McCarty Auto Parts. Hazelhurst, Georgia. Leaving first in the wagon. The winner to the round of 7.
So Carolina
They've
champ.
both been good. One of them's going to be
Next
gooder
round.
right here. Oh, and
Carolina's
Caroline
red.
turns it 5
Oh.
foul red. Champ is 12 and 3 under. 460 on the 463. Caroline.
I'm going to try something, guys. I'm going
Takes
to
her
make the
foot
screen smaller
out of the
just to see
wagon.
if it helps us.
Good
with
run
a
for
little bit of
Caroline
lag.
McCarty.
We're lagging just a little bit. Let's make this bad boy a little smaller.
So our buddy Champ was planning on hitting the tree and riding with her, man. 3 under, 12 green. Not a bad lap. He probably would have been able to ride with her. She might have dropped hard, though, man. So you don't know what would have happened there. If she would have been green, she was definitely going for it. Only 5 red. So
And can you blame her? I mean, Champ's been on one. I mean, he's been on a terror. So you can't blame her for going red there. You got to take your shot. You definitely can't go out there against Champ and be 40. You give Champ 40, and he's gonna stick. He's gonna give you right. He's gonna stick.
Timmy
his car
Smith,
really for you.
his
Put it that
entry
way.
still in.
Timmy Smith, right
In memory
here.
of his father.
I think this
Mike
is Timmy
Smith, dialed a 466 on the left side. Nick Folk, Durand, Illinois. 569 right side of the door car.
can't count Nick Folk out, man. One of the greats.
He's one of the greats. I mean, it's one of the biggest names in our sport.
Green to green.
11 to
Nick
a
Folk was
29.
good.
Timmy Smith is in trouble.
Nick Folk was
Should
good.
be Nick Folk. It is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he
11.
looked good
Take
there.
5. 2
Mike-
above for Nick Folk. 31 total.
But-
What do you take?
Timmy
I
Smith
don't know,
bows
man.
out.
Nick
29.
Folk, I
Dead
think,
7.
even more so than what I was saying about Kevin Brandon earlier, I think that Nick Folk has flown under the radar, and he's been winning like the Williams brothers have been winning for years and years and years in our area. I mean, everywhere for that matter, but he's from our area. I think he's from Durand, like that.
Right, yeah, he's there. I mean,
Sam
he's always
Patrick.
been on the road.
439
Like,
left side.
that worldwide
KB,
thing.
Kevin Brandon, the Brodix Bounty
Hold on a
Hunter.
minute. Hold on. KB.
Carrying those cylinder heads with him right side on a 442. Let's see if he can hold on to it again.
Oh,
He will.
he got it.
Sam Patrick, 002 red. KB, 004, 3 above. That's last year's million winner, and he is trying to go back to back.
He
He'll
won
be
from
down
Minnesota,
to
man,
the
doesn't he?
round of 7 for Rabbit. Adam Russell. 432 left side. Jamie Holston. 453 right side. Rural Retreat, Virginia driver. Had 2 in. Last round was able to get 1 through, and here he is around the 14. Been driving the wheels off of it. Letting go well. You don't, let's be real, you don't make it the round of 14 at the Mickey Thompson Million without doing some stuff right. And you can see the crowd is getting bigger back here behind the water box. Looks like I got some goosebumps. I won't lie. This is cool. 2100's head start. Goes to Holston right side. Oh, and Jamie turns it red by 7 pounds.
Go figure, though, guys. I mean, you got to realize where we are.
The little crowd
Everybody's
goes
gonna
wild
take a shot
down
at
here.
that
003,
reds
one
have we
above
seen?
4.
Kevin Little's in our Facebook
17
chat.
total
He's
for
around
Adam
3
Russell.
reds so far, isn't it?
Yeah, because I forgot Caroline. Yep.
3 reds
So
so far.
everything has been
Scotty Richardson
light so far.
Right. Jeez,
would
here's Scotty.
love to put his name on the winner's list.
This is
At the Mickey Thompson Million, left side, 573 the dial.
That's Kevin
Cameron
Owen.
Manuel,
Kevin Owen, you hear me?
440 the
Who,
dial, right
Who's
side.
winning this round? Tell me right now.
Kevin Owen, who's winning this round? Casey's asking. He's going to give us an answer here pretty soon, I'm pretty sure, Casey.
Doesn't count if he gives it after the finish line.
Head start goes to the door car, left side. Everybody taking a little bit of extra time, and that's okay.
It's a
We're
true
racing
statement.
for
Do
a
it.
whole bunch of money. 300 grand. Scotty's in. Cameron's in. Here we go. Scotty doesn't get it there. Cameron
Scotty
has
missed.
it doubled up.
Scotty
Finish
missed.
line.
Yep.
Oh!
Oh!
Oh, Cameron
Oh!
Manuel.
Oh!
10, take 19, goes 7, foul
Oh!
under. Had to take 12 or less. Scotty, 22, dead 0. Scotty
I
Richardson,
would say normally.
keep the dream
That a
alive.
foot-
He'll be down.
Okay. Hey, Casey, you're cutting in and out, man. Put your headphones back on.
Left side.
Hey, we're gonna talk about that here in a little bit, man. I need everybody to understand what just happened. Okay, did he take 19 or did he get fed 19? Is what I want to know. We're gonna talk about that. Here we go. Nick Hastings.
This Nasty Nick versus Michael Pennington. This foot breaker is not at a distance.
Well, I tell you what, he got pushed in the other lane. That might be his
Yeah,
demise.
Jim Gleason,
What
good
we're gonna
point.
see.
The bounty
We're
has
gonna see
never
here.
gone this far. The Bounty Hunter Award still
Wow, I can't believe that bounty.
looking like
hunter
it's
came out
firmly locked in Brandon's hands. This is going to be good right here. Nick Hastings and Michael Pennington.
there. Again, that's happening everywhere, guys. Nick Hastings,
boy.
20.
Nick finally misses one.
He's
Let's see if
20.
Pennington makes him pay.
Yeah, that's trouble.
He does.
That's trouble.
Pennington, 14 and a
Nasty.
foul under.
Hands.
Nick needed to really drop. He's 39 up
39.
front.
Nick,
Goes 12
hey, Nick
foul
Hastings, 39
under.
on the tree. Have you
Would
ever
have
heard
had to
that
get
before?
way back.
I never heard it. Hey, look at Tricky Ricky
To
Jones.
make it
He's got to
work.
be the fastest stager
John
I've
Brandon,
ever seen in my entire life.
475 left side.
telling you.
Tricky
Tricky
Ricky
Ricky
Jones,
Jones
559
Has won more
right
races
side.
in that exact car than most people win in their entire career.
Gee whiz. No, David Hearn, I don't think Nick's been in that lane all day, and that probably threw him, if you ask me.
Ricky
that
leads
probably threw
first,
him a
right
little
side in the door car. Here we go. 13 to a 21, advantage door car. Here comes the dragster finish line. Light it up, Ricky Jones.
I just lost Facebook.
13, take 1. Goes 2 above 2.
I'm just gonna stay on
35
YouTube.
total for Tricky Ricky Jones. John Brannon, 21.
I'll
1
try to get it
above
back up.
5.
I'll try to bring it
No
back.
good. Ricky Jones to the round of 7.
Hang on, I lost my Facebook. Let's see, okay, that's the end of the round. I'm going to bring you back in while I get Facebook back up, Casey.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
Cool.
All right, guys, I know I lost Facebook. I'll be bringing it back up. We'll head over to YouTube, one or the other, but I'll be bringing it back up pretty quick here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, right now we got 3 dual cars. We got 4 dragsters left. We still got the heads bounty sitting out there. And for whatever reason, I don't know why I think this, but I think that Scotty Richardson, for some reason, I don't even know where the ladder is going to end up, but I think Scotty Richardson is going to get these heads from KB.
That's interesting. That's interesting. It's a great call. I think I'm going to go with Champ McCory. I think Steve McCory, not only is he going to get the heads, I think he's going to take the crown. As a matter of fact, he just got to give me right there. Don't get me wrong, right? By Caroline going red. It happens, right? It happens. But I think he's about to take the cookie. That's what I think.
I agree, man. Should we call, do we got both of them up right now?
On the starting line, please, for the golf cart giveaway.
Might need to call our buddy Dylan
Need you to
Champion.
the starting line, please.
The other
for the
champ.
golf cart
And then
giveaway.
we'll have, you know what we need to have Dylan Champion explain to us? Why is he champ whenever Champ McCory is actually out there winning races?
Worthington, we are
That's
working on that as soon
question.
as Dave lets me know that. I'll
Dylan
let you
Champion.
all know.
He got mad at me whenever we were calling Dylan that night, by the way. It hurt his feelings.
I'm sorry, Dylan.
So what a cool round of 14.
I can't find it either. I can't get it back up yet.
Some surprises along the way, and you just don't know.
I see this Camaro
Oh, boys, Jake's still
around, and
driving
I'm
the
wondering
Camaro
if they're
around.
getting ready to give it away.
That's right. We'll give that thing away, too. And just know, whoever wins that thing, just know Jake Hodge has driven it. So, you know, might get it checked out.
Found some real quick, too.
Yeah, that's right. Get your new tires at Glenn Smith.
Brad Gephardt's saying Facebook is still live. Okay. So I'll leave it up. Let me see if I can go on my phone and find it.
I know. I can see YouTube still live for sure.
Right? Hold on. Now, YouTube's definitely up. BG's saying, if BG's telling me Facebook is up, so I bet it's still up. But I lost my browser, so I lost the chat. That's the problem. Maybe I'll get in the chat on my cell phone so I can answer and see who wins the next question. Hang on, we'll draw another one in a minute. You want to call Dylan Champion?
I'll give him a call.
Get him in there while I'm getting this technical issues done.
You know what I think happened? I think Kevin Oyd did some crazy stuff in there and shut down our Facebook because he picked the wrong person to win that race.
Kevin
That's
Oyd
what
broke it. Well, Kevin Oyd, it ain't my fault. That's all I gotta tell you. Hey, let me check on YouTube real quick. Let me make sure we don't got any chatters over there. I bet you we do, but let's see here. Team 14 says, nope, it ain't his fault. Brad Gephardt says all kinds of things. Ask somebody else.
I'm not paying attention to you. We're live, by the way. Yep. So, first of all, I want to hear the story of how it hurt your feelings whenever George was calling you Dylan all night.
Oh, man.
Well, we can start that off by we're at a lot at Spring Fleet.
Oh.
And you know, Stephen McCrory, not Chad.
Just little old Steven who's still in the million.
Now with my buddy Jamie Holston, you know, he just had the written.
He just switches seats.
Yeah.
Spring Fleet at the lot, and I was over there talking to Champ, started talking to Troy Williams and everybody. And Champ called me Champ, and it confused Troy. He was like, "Wait, what?" And I told him, he was like, "Well, dang, Stephen, we can't call you Champ no more. This guy's last name is literally Champion. He is Champ."
So let's talk. Well, wait a second. What's Jake Hodge doing right now? Let's see what Jake Hodge is doing.
Oh, he's drawing for that car. Let's pull that back up. He's drawing for that car. That beautiful looking. I think it's 21 Camaro that they're giving away. Hang on, let me try to get some sound up here.
Cars dragster chassis raffle.
Oh, this is the dragster chassis.
200 spots were sold, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. We've got young man coming over here. What's your name, buddy? William Rowland right here. We need one at a time, okay? So we're not going to look in here. Get your hands up. Just get me one of them out. The first ticket out is the 2021 American race car Mark Martin. Not the NASCAR driver. Mark Martin, 270 area code. Mark Martin is your 2021 American Race Cars Dragster Raffle winner. Second place, getting an FTI torque converter. Thank you to the Williams family here this weekend representing FTI and FTI on site.
We got
Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones is your FTI torque converter winner. $500 cash, the third one coming out. Scott Hornline. Scott Hornline, you are a $500 recipient here in the 2021 American Race Car Raffle.
I feel like Jake should have given us the
Fourth place, $250. Bruce Maples. Bruce Maples, you are the $250 recipient. One last ticket. I'm going to assume it's
you had to be part of the
$100. Get your money
VIP
back.
club to get into it.
Getting their money back here. The Lord, Dale, and Aaron Vale, your $100. Get your money back on. Aaron Vale bought in a dragster raffle. I just want everybody to take note of that. So, Aaron Vale, you got your money back on the American Race Cars Dragster raffle. Big thank you. I got these here. As Mark will look at this beautiful Camaro, we've actually already drawn this. This got drawn random.org because we can't put 2,000 some odd names in a bucket and draw one out.
over here moving
We
around.
have the winner drawn. I watched Jenny draw it on random.org, and we're going to call him. We're going to do the golf cart first, but we're going to call the winner of the Camaro after we draw this Overkill Motorsports golf cart. Big thank you to old Okie Dokie. I'm not sure if he can hear me. His ears are probably ringing because his pit area is so loud. Okie Dokie, tell us about this
I'm going to turn this down some so we can hear you
Overkill
guys.
golf cart. Obviously, you guys every year at the Million, it's kind of a staple.
You're live, Casey. Go for it.
Pitching into the seats, it's got everything Million related decked out.
Casey, can you hear me?
Pretty sweet piece.
Go for it, man.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, you and Dylan can talk, though. Go for it. I got you live. I turned the sound down some.
Can't wait to see who wins it this year.
We got to see this Camaro.
From the 50K
Oh, yeah, I'm watching.
from the Million today. We've got our young man over here ready to pull. Oh,
Here it comes. Here comes the golf cart.
doing this one? All right. One tech card. Reach in here and pick out one card. Don't look. Oh, she's going towards the end. Oh, no, she's making her way to the middle. She's done this before. Just get one of them out. You can pull them to the side. Oh, there you go. Oh, she's going the easy route. Get one of them. Your winner,
So we're pulling the
Travis
Camaro.
Eaton. Travis Eaton, you
Camaro.
won the
I don't know
Overkill
what's going on.
Motorsports golf cart giveaway. It is a 50K tech
Roger,
card.
by the way,
Travis Eaton, I know he
call
is
me
here.
back.
That was a Million tech
I've been
card.
calling you.
He is here. I know that. You think he went home?
You don't even have a cell phone order. Call you
Yeah,
back.
he'll come back and
He
get the
does.
golf cart for sure.
Just won't call me back. I left him a voicemail.
What we got left, Jenny?
Them won't change.
We got the Camaro left. All right. So, I took a picture
Rodney,
of
it's
this.
about champion spark plugs.
I'm going to
I'm
get
telling you.
a phone number here.
It'll
I'm gonna
work in
get
your
you to dial
favor.
it real quick. You got your phone? All right, 1 second.
All right, we got everybody playing video games on their phone right now.
They're about to call my number. Look, watch. My phone going to ring. They're about to call me. I'm about to win that thing.
Hey, if it does, I'm going to freak out.
Well, you got to be in it to win it, so it ain't going to happen.
Shit, in it.
Right?
What if Jake pulls his phone number? Because you know he's in it.
Right.
You know, Ronnie probably hit 7, 8.
Turn the volume up.
Hey, Robert. Yeah. Hey, this is Jake. We're down here at the $1 Million Drag Race. You just won yourself a 2021 SS Camaro.
I'm watching it live on TV.
Oh, there you go. Watching it on the Vintage
It's
Trailers.
crazy.
1935 entries. Your name's highlighted
All
right
right,
there.
so,
Robert Reynolds out of
Jake,
Dayton, Ohio.
We're back to
Congratulations,
normal
and
life here.
This is Randall's
Quit
phone number,
wasting
so
your time
you'll
out
direct you to
here,
Jenny, so
taking your time
Randall's
away
right
from
here.
drinking beer and hanging out with your woman. So,
I'm driving.
well, then that works out. So, what's impressed you the most about this Million, man? Because I know this morning we were talking whenever, in fact, I was talking to you standing in my driveway when my bug man came over to spray all these bugs. But what did you have that impressed you so much tonight?
Just the package just being so tight, You got Timothy goes up there and lays one total down, and his dad comes up next round and lays a perfect row.
Perfect.
Not hit one total, makes 2 total beside him.
Right. What would you feel like if that was you beside him?
Uh, Well,
Hurt your feelings?
Just hide all the sharp objects.
Definitely, absolutely. So now that we know who's left, we got Scotty in, we got Nick Falk in, Ricky Jones. So we got 3-door cars, we got 4 dragsters, we got a boy Champ over there, Steven, to you. Your boy Steven, he just plain old Steven, no big deal.
Yeah, I was texting him last night. I was like, look, man, we'll be on the GVR live to you. We're going live at 16. I said, please be in so I can't fuck around. So I can't say nothing about it right now.
So he's actually doing you a favor, is what you're saying.
Basically.
Warner told me to take him in the Calcutta, and I didn't. So I may be kicking myself in the tail. He's paying out like $3,000.
Secondary question. Is anybody going to get these heads from KB? Because at this point, he might repeat. What's the likelihood of KB repeat?
Man, I was watching earlier. He missed it. He was like 200 behind and turned the red light on. I'm like, I don't think this guy can be beat. He's going to be tough, but I would love to see Scotty Richardson win it.
I would too.
Because he's one of the greatest to ever do it, and I don't think he's ever won the OG maybe.
He hasn't. And I think the thing he's always said, because his brothers won it, Edmonds won it. And I believe, actually, if I remember correctly, and the reason I know this isn't because I just pull this out of my head like Ryan Gleghorn does or like Kettner does. It's because I literally was just rolling through all this stuff just to see some trivia questions for the BRG giveaways. But I'm pretty sure that Edmond won in maybe like 96 or something like that. But Scotty has never won this race, and this is the one I think he wants to win. And I think if Scotty wins this race, I don't think he'll necessarily quit per se, because I think he'll still go to races like this, but I don't think he'll race hard. I think this is the one race that Scotty needs to win.
Let me piggyback off that.
To prove anything to us.
Yeah,
let me prove it to himself.
Let me piggyback off that. What's up, champ? Hey man, I think you're right, Casey. I think he's gonna throttle back pretty good. If I'm not mistaken myself, we've had a ad space or two from a race. I think it was in Ohio, maybe Edgewater, where Scotty Richardson was like one of the main promoters. So it could be a very good chance. It is very probable that we'll see Scotty Richardson go into more of a promotion cap. If I had to be honest.
If I'm not mistaken.
Say it again. He's already doing it right now, but he's racing so much he can't do it like he could do it. And he's in Ohio, so you know he can have races out the wazoo.
Oh, yeah. But it'd be pretty cool to see him win it. I mean, when you have somebody who are quote-unquote goats are, which I really don't think you can because there's just so many names, but Scotty always gets brought up. And I think this is the one race that he's wanting to win so bad. Not like Casey was saying, not to prove it to anybody but himself.
Right.
True.
Which I don't think he's got to prove anything, because look at him and his brother's track record.
Yeah.
He ain't got to dig too deep to know that they are great racers.
And the thing about Scotty is, the thing that people forget about Scotty is Scotty invented the way that all these guys are racing now. He invented that. And it's one thing to take something and implement a theory, but it's another thing to invent it. It's totally different. And Scotty invented all that stuff. And Edmund did too. I think what happened was Edmund thought about it and Scotty figured it out, is what happened. I mean, they're both equally the two greatest of all time by far, definitely the greatest family of all time. I mean, and that's saying something, because, I mean, you got the Pennington brothers, you got the Williams brothers. I mean, the Williams brothers are probably the closest to the Richardson brothers that you could ever really say, because Troy and Gary have consistently won for, 25 years now? Something like that. Troy and Gary are $12 million winners.
There's not a year that goes by that Gary and Troy is not talked about on the big money scene. That really is what impresses me with them guys, man. They, week in and week out, they're somebody's pick. Any account that you see on Facebook or whatever, somebody's picking Gary and Troy won the first pick. And yeah, but Scotty and Edmund, see, that's the thing. Like, Scotty and Edmund may be, like you say, the greatest racing family. The Richardson name is
So here's a question for you, champ, because I know you're buddies with Sarah and all this type of stuff. But what's the deal with anything with the name million in it? And we know Sarah won the guaranteed million last year, but I'm saying, what's the deal right now with all these guys having the years that they've had? And then anything that says million just eludes them, because Sarah was already out with both entries second round. And last year, Hunter was out early whenever he had the season he had in the guaranteed million and the million and stuff like that. Why is it they win all these other big races and then it comes down to anything with a million in the words and it's like somebody just lays something down on them and just destroys them?
Well, I think, when you get to those type of races, for me, if I ever put upside Jeff Sarah in the million, I'm going to be set up tight. They just put so much, they may have just put so much pressure on themselves to perform good because, let's face it, Jeff Sarah is having the past 2 years are undoubtedly one of the greatest years of racing we've ever seen.
Ever.
Same thing with Hunter back in 2020 and 2019. Same thing with Kenny Underwood. The problem is when they get to the million like that, that's the thing. In my mindset, if I pull inside any one of them million, hey, you got to go from broke here to your racing, quote unquote, the greatest right now. And I think they just get on the bad side of a couple of those packages, and there's nothing they really can do. I mean, I've seen Sarah turn it red while ago, but that's how he drives. He sets up so tight. And, he's just made a bunch of money doing it that way.
Right. Definitely. We got to say.
So, hey, man, cue up another giveaway. I hear the call coming out for the next round. And like I said, guys, we're giving away those helmet hooks from BRG 3D printed Motorsport parts. And I got one in my car. Casey, I don't know if you got one in your car. I think you do. But they are pretty awesome. I ain't going to lie about that. They're a very awesome piece. I don't have to worry about my helmet after I've taken it off and left the strap on. You just, it hooks in perfectly. But what kind of question you got?
All right, so our next trivia question right here. Don't say it if you know it, champ. Don't say it.
Okay.
You're not allowed to win. Don't be thinking we're picking our buddies here. I'll give you one. I'll get one from Brian, and I'll give you one some point. But so, all right. Next trivia question. How many people have won multiple millions, the OG, and who are they? Yeah, you can't say it. Don't say it.
I know.
So
while we're sitting here kind of quiet, let me go ahead and do this too. Special shout out to Motormania TV. Everybody, vintage trailers who's made particularly this race, vintage trailers who've made the Motormania TV stream free for everybody to watch without having to pay a premium, and allowing us to use the stream within this kind of virtual eighth mile is what I'd like to call it, where we're sitting out there. Everybody knows at home tracks, everybody after they've, kind of gotten their butts spanked kind of a little bit, or scottied. Maybe they got scottied after passing through the finish line or something like that. No pun intended.
Need you here.
Maybe not. But anyway, thanks to Motormania TV. You guys are awesome. But if you've been listening to Motormania TV, the reason why I know this answer is they've said it maybe 3 or 4 times on the live stream today. So hopefully somebody gets who it is and the names. I'm getting some answers here.
Who you got so far? Who's the first one? What'd they say?
I've got Brad Gephardt here, the first one from Facebook. And just so you guys know, I got my cell phone right here, and I'm looking at another screen. I'll just turn it, mind all the screens. But that's my YouTube chat. And so I seen Brad Gephardt's name pop up first. He's got, hold on, 3. The number 3. He's got Gary, Underwood, and Triplet.
Yep, that'd be it.
Yep, that is correct.
Sounds like Brad Gephardt, one of our winners of a BRG racing products. Make sure to measure your bar so we know how the width, kind of the circumference, whatever you want to call it, so that we can get you sized up perfectly.
Brad, does Brad have, like, how many cars does he have now? Is he buying and selling? Is he doing like me, George? Maybe we
man.
need to call him next.
BG's
to figure out.
We'll save it, man. I'll get Brad on the call. Hopefully you're all right with that, Brad. I know you just want a helmet hook, but I'll give you a call if you want to come on live and give us an idea of what you're driving right now. I happen to already know the answer, but I'll let Brad tell it live.
So, Champ, man, we appreciate you getting on here with us. We need you to, before you go, we need you to tell everybody, and I might be blowing this out, and if so, you just tell me to shut up. But is your race happening anytime soon? What's going on? Talking about the Chance Bottom Bowl Bash.
Well, we had a date set, and some stuff happened that I'm not going to disclose because it's none of my business. So we're back to the drawing board on that.
All right.
So we are still planning on doing it next year. 2 5-granders, $150 weekend entry.
Foot brake only, folks. Foot brake only. We're not talking this.
Foot brake only.
Swap
Right.
them, big boys. Swap them.
All right. So you heard it here on the Golden Bracket Racing YouTube channel. Chance Bottom Bowl Bash still on. Looking for a venue right now. He's got a couple irons in the fire, and you'll know about it first on GBR. So, Champ, we appreciate you getting on here with us tonight, man, and I'm sure I'll talk to you later this weekend, buddy.
All right, I appreciate y'all.
All right, man. Thanks.
I'll turn the volume up a little bit. So does anybody know in the chat how much money are they racing for right now? I'm reading on Motor Mania. Somebody said 370. Is it really 370? 385 I'm seeing. What are we racing for here?
Man, last I heard, I thought that somebody said, and I couldn't find the flyer. I've been trying to find the flyer. And last I heard it was 300 for
That's
300 cars, but I don't know.
That's exactly what Troy just said. He said he thinks they're going for 300K.
In the round of 7, making their way
Hang on.
around into the lanes.
I see some others saying 225 to the winner.
Be our winner here tonight and make their way on that list of $1 million race winners.
Be real close to race time, but they're not up here yet. I'm kind of trying to keep us keep our sound up so we can hear the ladder if they speak it out and some other things. Set in round 2 with Riggins on the mic. So I guess that's Steve Riggins, and he's Troy is saying that he thinks the pot is at 300K. Jerry McCracken's also saying 300K. So I'm thinking 300K. Even you said that, Casey. I'm thinking that's probably right about right.
I mean, that's just what I saw earlier in the chat. I don't know for certain. It seems like it would be right. I don't know what KB got last year, but I think there were less entries last year than there were this year, and it's progressive purse. So the way that the OG million works is they guarantee $100,000 to the winner, and that's no matter if there's 2 people that show up or nobody, whatever, that's what's getting paid to the winner. And I think they guarantee all the round money and stuff like that, or however they pay. But it's a progressive purse, which means if there's 100 cars, then, just numbers off the top of my head. If there's 100 cars, $100,000. If there's 150 cars, $150,000. And these are not real numbers. They're just numbers I'm coming up with just to explain it. But you get the point of it.
Sure.
But it looks like we're getting ready to run another round here right now. So we got, obviously, Ricky Jones is coming up in the right lane right there, it looks like.
That's Ricky for sure.
Scotty's behind him. So we got 2 door cars that aren't running each other at least. So no door car on door car crime. We like that here at the Golden Bracket Racing YouTube channel.
By the way, I did see Kevin Roy Little say that he thinks Tricky Ricky Jones is going to win this bad boy. And it's kind of a really good call. I've been watching him all day long. He's really been in a groove. He's been driving really well, both ends of the track as well. And I'm telling you, I said it once before in the beginning of the show, that's got to be the fastest staging act. And you'll see on this next pass. He gets into that first beam and that second beam. It's like a blink of an eye, and he's there.
Dan, Scotty Richardson is one of the greatest drivers of all time, but Ricky Jones, I'm fairly certain, has owned that car and won all the races he's won in that car for probably like 20 or 30 years, dude. So we always talk about this, George. The reason Nick Hastings is so good, first of all, he's, as Dylan Green said earlier, whenever we were talking during sixth round, we got a buddy that everybody calls an alien. Nick Hastings is also an alien. He's from the same planet. But Nick Hastings, if you notice, what's he always dialed between 6 flat and 610? Duffling. What's he always in? That blue T1000 every single time. All of us mess up because we all want to have something different. And I am the worst about this. George, you know, I've owned 4 cars this year.
Right.
What are we doing?
Right.
Bracket race, consistency. What's the easiest way to be consistent? Have the exact same thing all the time. Ricky Jones has.
I think I agree with that. It's just that when I named my vehicle Mo, when I named him that, I didn't name him that so that I can give Mo to somebody else. I intend on being in that little S10 for quite some time. I know that I could probably sell it and make quite a bit of money with it. But that's not why I wanted that car. That car imprinted on me. Hey, hang on. Let's get back to some racing. Here we go.
So
watch how fast Ricky Jones
champ.
stages.
Stephen McCrory dialed 460, the strange side scoreboard, and Ricky Jones 559.
He's already in the pre-stage. Look at him. He's been in the pre-stage for like
lane.
30 seconds already or something stupid.
This is going to be a good race right here, I'm telling you.
I have to say, Champ's going to need to be 00. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's going to need to be 00. Tricky Ricky's going to be 00 here.
He's going to need his 100-grander runs, because I tell you what, he was driving lights out that race. He earned every single one.
Champ flickers it on. Here we go to the semifinals.
Champ's good. Champ.
22 dead, 325
Champ got it, man.
Ricky Jones.
And I stand corrected. I thought he was going to have to be 00. He was 22. Both of them were.
22, take 9.
Here's another round, guys. Let's check this out.
6, thou under.
Scotty, I told you they would run.
Yep.
Brings up
This is for a set of heads right here.
Gaffney, South Carolina, the Ivy Huddle Golf Cart Sales FTI Performance Ride. Rabbit down 442. And Scotty Richardson.
Scotty got thrown in the other lane just for the record.
The Chevy 2 down 573. Richardson.
There you called it, Casey.
Dead 9, 19 total. He is your
you got him.
County Award winner. Scotty, a free set of cylinder heads from Brodix.
Can't hear you. You got your headphones on?
009 takes
plug your headphones
16 thou. Had to take 10 or less. Scotty Richardson to the semifinals. Michael Pennington, Lavernia, Texas, left side, 464.
Nope, it's cutting out.
On the strange side scoreboard, and Nick Folk. Durand, Illinois, right side. The Folk race cars, VP Mickey Thompson Tires, Cobalt. Down 571.
Hold on, here's another one. Folk is still in, too. Gee whiz.
Now do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, so I just wanted for the record to say that I called Scotty was going to get those heads before they even set the ladder.
That's true. You didn't even know they were racing each other.
Pennington flickers it on.
Oh!
No. Pennington 3 thou red. Folk 55. And turns on the win light.
He was 55 on the tree.
Goodness.
Ouch. Oh, hide the sharp objects.
55 and shuts it off. Pennington double
He lifted so no one knew he would
red.
run.
Pennington was 003 red there.
And the bye car.
In there.
Adam Russell, right side.
Everybody needs a lucky one.
433.
You look at every single one of
So
these
you
races, these big money races.
Champ, Scotty, Nick
Through
Folk,
every single round.
and Adam Russell. Down to
Where
4
somebody
cars. $1 million Friday.
I don't think you'll find one. There's always luck involved.
Exactly. So we right now are guaranteed. We got 2 door cars. We got 2 dragsters. In the semifinals of the OG Million, the most prestigious.
Adam Russell lays down 35 total
You
here
ready?
in the
Hang
semifinal,
on.
or
Turn some
to
sound-
go to
turn
the
the sound down.
semifinal round. So we'll have 4 cars coming back. Nick Folk.
You got it.
All right, so George.
Yeah.
First of all, 2 door cars, 2 dragsters in the semifinals of the OG Million, which is the most prestigious race there is out there. Let's talk about that, man, because it's not the highest paying race out there by far anymore. I mean, next week we have the guaranteed $1 million to win.
Correct.
Why is the OG Million so prestigious whenever we can literally have people get paid 2 and 3 times that amount of money?
So, and I think everything's going to point back to the amount of time that the OG Million has been running. The amount of racers, the caliber of racers that show up to go to the OG Million, on top of the promoter that puts it on. There's a lot that goes behind why the OG Million is just quote unquote the GOAT of drag racing, regardless of how much money goes into it. I know there's more races that have more money and even higher turnout. But as far as prestige go, this was the first, and I think that's why everything happens. So that's why we're seeing this.
And that's something to say, man, because the thing is, think about the company you're in of running the OG Million. First of all, this thing was established in 1996, right? So we're talking 25 years of history here, right? Is that right? I mean, I just literally just thought of that off my top of my head. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
But I mean, you're talking about Big John LeBouse won this.
Right.
Dale Williams has won it twice. Troy has won it. Like, this is Shane Carr has won it. This is the race that makes people's careers take off. Like, the people who win this race, only the best of the best enter the OG Million.
Correct.
And that is why we were saying earlier, Scotty wants to win this race so bad. Why does Scotty Richardson doesn't need to prove anything to anybody? We've resolved that. We've established that Scotty literally only needs to win this race to prove it to himself.
Honestly, we haven't resolved anything. He's resolved it. He
Right.
is who he is because of his resume itself. The body of work that he's put down proves to us why Scotty Richardson is, why he wants to win this one. This is the one that he's been chasing the longest too. Let's not get it twisted. Everybody's been chasing this one the longest. So
Right. And think about this, George. Think about who's literally won the million and gone on to be some of the best racers of all time. Like, I mean, you literally look at this stuff, and if you, like, look at Dave Triplett. Dave Triplett has been in $3 million finals. I mean, come on. And then you sit here and won 2 of them. But the thing is then you see the names on there like Gary Williams, Kevin Brannon, who carried this bounty all the way until just now, who won this race last year. You look at the people like the names on this list, Shane Carr still winning money. Troy Williams still winning money. His brother Gary won it twice, winning money. I mean, you're talking 20 years afterwards, still winning. Johnny Ezel, this race set Johnny Ezel's career off. Like, I mean, I know Johnny was good before that, but this race made everybody know who Johnny Ezel was, and then Johnny just went on a run after that.
Right. So what I'm going to do next is call up Brad Gephardt. We're at the semifinals. Let's get Brad Gephardt on the phone here. He just won him a helmet hook from DRG.
Like I did.
Say it again.
Don't forget to unplug your headphones like I did, because you might hear them and I might not.
I already did. You got to remember who you're talking to. Hold on a minute here. Hold on. Let's see here. BG speaker. Let's see if he answers. Mr. Gephardt.
What's up, buddy?
Live on Going Bracket Racing YouTube channel. Casey, can you hear?
Mr. Brad, I haven't talked to you in probably 15 years, son.
I know, man. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. How are you?
Oh, man. Wonderful, wonderful.
Man.
Watching some good racing here.
Man, and I mean, to be expected though, right, Brad? Right? I mean, this is to be expected from a race of this caliber. What do you think, Brad?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, look who you got left. The same people that always rise to the occasion.
That's
Scotty, Chum.
You missed out, man.
Hey, who had the buy run right there? Was that Adam Russell with the buy run, Casey?
Yeah.
Who's the other car? Ricky Jones?
Nope. So the guys left, we got Scotty, we got Nick Folk, and we got Adam Russell in the dragster and Champ in the dragster.
Got it.
Or Chump, as Brad likes to call him.
Chump. So, Brad, who you taking, man? I think I know the answer to this question, but who you taking?
Oh, I'm Chump all day.
Taking Chump. He's taking Chump.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, man. But whenever Champ gets in the zone, I don't think that there's anybody better, to be honest with you.
But
I mean, everybody gets streaky, but
and
Champ this many runs, especially after a good weekend last weekend.
Yeah.
Brad.
Chump, man.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, he's been in finals or semis or somewhere close, definitely in the money, at least the last month since he's came out of quote unquote retirement because his car's being fixed. I mean, he told us on the show when he came on to Going Bracket Racing, I hadn't been racing but 2 times all year, and we're watching him in the OG Million go to the semifinals, bro.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's funny, we got a 32-year-old retired ex-professional bracket racer coming out of retirement and just setting the world on fire, you know.
Tearing it up too.
Let's not forget about this, because you know better than anybody, because you hung out with these boys for a long time whenever we were younger, when they were in their heyday. Not that they're out of their heyday never quit, but Champ learned to race from Troy and Gary a lot too, just like you did.
Oh yeah, and that's what's kind of cool. You know, you're seeing the next, you know, you're seeing your Galettis and just, you know, the younger generation come up and fill that void that, you know, Champ and them kind of leave as they get older and, you know, start getting into the business and that side of things. You know, that takes these guys away from the racetrack sometimes. But yeah, I mean, Champ's learned from the absolute best. I mean, to have Gary and Troy by their side, I mean, what better teachers can you ask for?
True.
And a pretty good party too.
Yeah. And you know just as well as I do too, man, is it's one thing to do it when you're younger, it's one thing to do it when you're older, because you have a whole new, whenever we were younger, so Going Bracket Racing YouTube channel, just so you know, Brad and I kind of grew up in the same type of realm. We never really, I guess, per se knew each other, but we knew who each other were, but we kind of grew up the same way, like drag racing and doing all that kind of stuff, being second generation racers and running a lot of stuff. But it's a lot easier to, I don't know what you want to say. It's not ever easy to win a race, but it's easier to do it whenever you don't have all the stress of your adult life. Like, you're not married, you're not paying your own bills, like stuff like that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I think people kind of take for granted whenever they're young is you don't know any better. You know, you see these young kids that jump in cars at 16, 17, 18 years old, and they come out and, you know, they're in the finals of these 50 granders. And they don't know any better. They don't know that they shouldn't be there. They don't understand that they're 16, 18 years old and doing something just astronomical like that. You know,
Right.
I mean, you know, you're full of piss and vinegar. And whenever you can race without fear and you can carry that confidence because you don't know better, I mean, it gives these kids a great head start.
Yeah, man, and I think I like to use the analogy here. I'm going to turn myself down a little bit, but I like to use the analogy whenever a pitcher is on a mound at a baseball game, and the pitcher has a no hitter. What do you think the coach is going to pull off the bench? He's going to pull off the rookie, the person who doesn't know any better, to try to crush that no hitter. And I think that's definitely what a racer who's so new to the sport, when they look in the other lane, they don't even know that that's Kevin Brannon. Well, with the help of Motor Mania, they may know of that name, but they don't know what they're racing up against. And I think it's actually a power booster almost. It's like a injection of steroids to them that they're young. You know what I mean? It's a cheat code, man.
Man, the thing is whenever you're not paying the bills, it's a lot easier to set up 5 or better whenever you don't have to pay the buyback. Is it not?
That's a fact.
What did he say, George?
Okay, can you hear him? Let me move you a little closer, try to get you as much sound as I can. But he said it's a whole lot easier when you don't have to pay that big buyback. Your parents are actually paying the buyback for you.
You know, that is true, but it can also be a double-edged sword. You know, it's one thing whenever it's your parents. If you're racing on somebody else's dime, you know, sometimes that's even more pressure. So it can go both ways, man.
And you've done that, Brad. So tell us a little bit about that, because you've kind of done that. You've been a hired gun at times, and I've been a hired gun for my own man, like everybody has, but I've never been a hired gun for someone else. So tell us a little bit about that, because we've been talking about that every once in a while, how sometimes being hired gun is not actually what it's cracked up to be, because it may actually add more stress than honestly entering yourself or your buddy entering you or something like that, because it could also be a type scenario where you're like, man, I need to do good, because if I don't at least show up to 5th round, then this old boy ain't going to enter me anymore.
Yeah. It's definitely that double-edged sword. You know, I've always been fortunate. I've had a bunch of really good friends, and I've been in a lot of race cars that I probably didn't even deserve to be in. You know, but yeah, it can work both ways. It's all, you know, it's one of those deals where you try not to race out of fear. You try not to make decisions out of fear, you know, on somebody else's dime. You know, yeah, but I don't know. It's also good because you know you're in top quality stuff. Whenever you're driving, you know, somebody like Victor Duke's race car, you know you're in top of the line equipment. You know if it doesn't have the right converter in it, he's going to put the right converter in. So, you know, whenever you get to driving for people, it like I said, it can work both ways. You know you're in good stuff, but you know you definitely have to have the right mindset.
Yeah. I've never been in this situation, but I think I could kind of see where you mean, Brad. As you go through the race, you have so much confidence in the equipment that you're using, because you know it's top notch. You know if somebody else put it together and they're hiring somebody to drive it, they're not going to put their hired gun in a bowl of crap. If you want me to be honest, at least I haven't seen anybody who's hiring people put them in something that isn't going to be sharp enough to cut. You know what I mean? So. Racing with that behind you.
You're never at a disadvantage. Ever.
Correct. And I mean that's part of the sport, as we always talk about in going bracket racing. And it's all about knowing your car, but at the same time, it's about trusting your car. And Brad can speak to it better than anybody I know because he's been in a lot of people's cars, and could be one of the better drivers that you ever meet. I happen to know it firsthand. So you guys can just take my word for it if you want to, or I'm not going to pin a bullseye on Brad. I'm just going to stop right there. Brad, I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry I'm putting you out there like that.
No, just take George's word for it.
Just take my word for it.
He's talking about, I'm not going to fit through the doorway in a minute.
Brad on the phone right now to cover for me. I'm going to go use the facilities real quick, and you and Brad got to hold the torch until this next round comes up.
Hey, so be it. I'm sure we can handle it. Hey, do you got another question? Actually, I'll wait until you get back. We'll get your question when we get back. Let me get it when you get back.
I know Brad.
Let's get it when you get back.
All right.
Yep. No, man, BG, man, definitely can't thank you enough for coming on the show with us here live at the 8th Mile is what I want to call it. Going bracket racing live, OG style from the 8th Mile, virtually. And Certainly, man. I'm surprised, and I'm waiting for the day. I shouldn't say I'm surprised, but I'm waiting for the day to where you won't be able to answer the phone because we're going to be talking about you staging up, in the finals here. What do you think?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me on. I just saw the number coming across my phone, so I figured you needed something. But it's cool to join. Yeah, man, the OG million. I know that there's other millions, and they're all great races. Especially the Great American Race, Cummins. Go support those guys. But yeah, that the OG million, man. I hope I'm able to make it down there. We got our hands on a little Sunbird that we're starting to get pointed in the right direction. I'm hoping next year by this time, we'll have the confidence, and I'll be driving well enough and be able to put some stuff together to run down to South Georgia or wherever it may be held next year.
Yep, yeah, man, and I definitely, if I know that you're going, my money's definitely on you. We come from a long line of watching Brad Gephardt get himself into the finals or the semis of even a big NHRA Super Comp race. It doesn't matter, where Brad gets in a groove. He's just one of those guys. Again, a lot of you may not know, but I know. So I'm going to be looking forward to that day, and hopefully, I'll be honest with you. Hopefully, I've drug my my S10 to the race too, because I'm pretty sure we can turn that into a pretty fun event.
Man, I'm ready whenever you are. I appreciate it. Yeah, we've been taking. I've been really blessed by Brandon Taylor. Jake Hodge is always looking for a ride for me. Troy Williams. Those guys have really kept me even around racing, a handful of times a year. But yeah, it's been a little while since we've been real serious about it, and been able to have the opportunity to actually go racing. So I'm looking forward to next year, man.
Yeah, man. So speaking of next year, and like you said, we got time to burn. What do you think you have in store? You're gonna run some weekly points event somewhere. You're gonna try to find and chase around some smaller races. I know you very well, and I know both of us, along with several people here on the Going Bracket Racing YouTube channel, are racers on a budget. I'm definitely one of those racers. What do you got going on next year? Any ideas what you're gonna do?
Oh man, that's about as loaded as it gets, man. Well, we got a few upgrades to do over the winter. My buddy over at Mike's Speed Shop, Mike McMaster, is gonna get my car in. We're gonna get that thing wired up. Make sure I got all the tools necessary. And I would really like to go chase anything within 4 or 5 hours that's paying $5 or $10 grand. Obviously, like you alluded to, we're kind of balling on a budget here. So hopefully, we can fire off a couple good races early in the year, get some momentum, maybe get a little bit of cheddar in the account, and we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah, I like it, man, and I know seemingly everybody knows at this point. The SFG seems to want to bring smaller races, 10s and 20s, to your house. So don't be shocked whenever you see something like that come around. I know there's one coming back to Muncie, to where you're gonna have the opportunity even closer to home to take care of some of these races that you would normally have to travel, 4, 5, 6 hours away from home to get to.
Yeah, I'm digging it for sure, man. As much as I love these 20s, especially having a race car to call my own now, I really don't have the budget for a ton of these 50 granders. Even 20s can sometimes be out of reach.
True.
But the fact that they're bringing what I still consider a good payout, 5 granders, 10 granders, close to home. I mean, what more can you ask for? I mean, that fits my box.
Yeah, man, and I have a really good feeling, Brad. I'll be watching you at the Working Man's. I just don't see that as a type of race that you're going to miss. What do you think about old Jake Hodges' Working Man's 10 grand? I mean to tell you, that's probably one of the best little man's races that I think that's out there. And a lot of people actually notice it, and I think they're starting to mimic it, to be honest. But Jake Hodges really done a good job putting on a race for us. I won't call myself a peon because I'm bigger than a peon, but us budget ballers,
For the
No,
working man.
for sure. Yeah, Jake does a great job, and honestly, I probably won't be racing the working man 10 grands because I'm going to be a working man that weekend and be helping Jake out, doing whatever he needs. Like I said before, Jake always goes out of his way to take care of me. So maybe I'll drag the Sunbird over there, but one way or another, I'll be there.
You got it, Casey.
No, man, the thing I was saying is that we've, and Brad, I know you watch all these shows and stuff like that, but we always talk about that. We always talk about how there's a void. Like, obviously, we're watching the OG Million right now because of the prestige and stuff that goes with that. And I mean, obviously, we like these big races. If we could go to them, we'd love to go to them. And, more power to everybody. I'm not taking anything away from everybody because if you can pay for it, that's great. I would love to pay for it. If I could pay for it, I would be there too. But I really think there's a void in the 5s and 10s that we grew up around, which are for the working man like Jake. Jake named his race perfectly for our area that we all grew up in. I know that Brad's the only one that really still lives there, but we're all still the working man. And, I just think there's a void of 5s and 10s and 15s and, 20s is big to me. I mean, if I win $5,000 tomorrow, that changes my life. It really does. I mean, that makes me be able to pay off my wife's car. So I would like to see more of those. I think things have gotten way out of hand at this point. Do you agree with that? Do you disagree? I mean, either way, it doesn't matter to me. Either way, I just want to get your opinion.
It's a really tough question because what makes it out of hand? They're still paying the payouts. They're getting great turnout for them. I mean, for me, it's out of hand, yes. But then again, if I do muster up the money and get fortunate at a race like that, I'm racing for a while, and I'm able to go to more of those races. So I think that there is definitely a lane for the 5 and 10 granders, especially locally. Gateway put on some 10 granders just a couple weeks ago and did a pretty good job. All things considering with the weather and whatnot. I would love to see somewhere like Gateway put on a 5,000, 10,000 to win series. Where they do it monthly, and we have a destination spot once a month, every month. And whether you wrap up a points deal with it or whatever, just give us 1 weekend of 10 granders a month, and I think that they could have a good thing going down there.
And to be clear, these big races, a lot of them, whenever I say out of hand, I don't mean they've gotten out of hand as far as the entry fee that you pay for the money you can win is not out of hand. It's just the entry fee is out of hand for what I can afford to spend per month is what I mean to say. The guaranteed million, $3,000 to be guaranteed $1 million to win. That's an amazing deal. The SFG 1.1, that was an amazing deal. I think it was like $1,750.
Yeah. I mean, if you're talking the entry fee to pay out, absolutely. I mean, not out of hand. It just, you kind of expect it at some point to die off, and that's what I consider out of hand. Whenever it's out of hand, you're going to start seeing struggles with turnout, stuff like that. What? And the general consensus tells us no. I mean, there's still a calling for it, but I think that there's a whole another set of racers, for your 5 and 10,000 local program.
So let's be honest though, and I think we are getting to that point to where some of these bigger races, the million, the 500,000, the 6 or 7 triple hundreds that you'll see. I think that right now our country, due to cost of living, things are starting to go up. Things are starting to cost more money. I mean, you can't go to the grocery store, especially if you have kids, and spend anything under $200 seemingly. So it's like, what's really going on? And I think that our promoters are starting to see that. They're starting to adjust accordingly to where now you are going to see quite a few more 10s and 20s and 5s. Like even when we had Galen and Britt on, we asked the question, are you going to have the million again? They said, nope, we're not going to do that again. And I kind of understand
they
why.
would never do it again. They said
He
they
didn't
weren't
say
doing
never.
it next year.
That's correct. He didn't say never. He just didn't say they weren't gonna have it next year. But if I looked at the Masters, the schedule for SFG, I didn't see $1 million on that schedule either. But I could be wrong about that, right? And you never know what'll happen.
I think that you will for races that big. I think that you're gonna see you got to see a little bit better economy, cheaper gas prices. I mean, you got to remember whenever gas price goes up, $1. That's a lot of money, whenever you're trying to travel 1,000 miles to go racing. And I think gas prices really drive our sport. And, the gas prices decide, what we're willing to pay for and pay for entry and do.
I think you're 100% right, man.
If you have to go from St. Louis to Chicago, that's one thing, for an extra $1. But if you have to go from St. Louis to my house in North Carolina, that's going to be 1,000 miles. You know what I mean? That adds up when you're only getting in your big tow rig and your stacker trailer. What do they get? 7 miles a gallon at the best. You know what I mean? Like that adds up very fast.
Yeah, and another problem that you kind of have with some of this is if one motorhome and trailer decides not to come. I mean, that might be how many entries? 4 cars,
True.
4 entries, 8 entries.
True.
And
there's a lot that goes into it, and I think that they are being smart about it and scaling,
Hang on, guys. We got racing. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Let's fade them back in. Hang on, BG. You're going to hang out with us. Let me turn some volume up, but we got old Scotty Richardson versus. Oh man, this is gonna be a dogfight here. Scotty Richardson versus Folk right here, Brad.
Oh, I got her on the big screen.
Yes, Brian Lampton, you are correct.
Now here's the thing.
Folk, left side, Durant, Illinois, VP Fuels, Mickey Thompson Tires, Folk,
And the answer to that question is yes, in my opinion, just because we're talking about Nick Folk here. That's more so a refocus. If you go 53, the next round you come back, you're gonna light the tree on fire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the odds of Nick Folk going anything but
the winner.
Double O is pretty slim here.
Do you think? Who do you want to win versus who do you think will win? Because I want Scotty to win bad, but I really think Nick's winning.
Oh, Folk's all over him. Folk's all over him. All over him.
Oh. Scotty's going to the final.
27 total. Nick Folk had a foul to get in. 28 and 1 above 2. Scotty Richardson to the final of the $1 million drag race.
That round he drove about 690 feet.
Yeah, we'll say those wheels were in the air and that car was squirrely.
Down 80.
It's in the final. Will he run the bowler car in the final?
Look at this, man. It's door car, dragster. This is crazy.
Stephen McCrory, Team
Come on, champ.
465.
Brad, tell us right now who's winning this.
Oh, Chump.
Taking the Chump. Hey, Brad, how many do Chump got in his pocket?
Champ said.
I don't know. I don't know. Chump's tricky, man.
He was down.
Oh! He turned red on us.
I'm sorry, guys.
Champ is 5 thou red. Adam Russell 14 and 8 thou under.
That's going to be a dogfight.
Scotty Richardson to the final round for the 26th annual Mickey Thompson $1 million drag race right here at South Georgia Motorsports Park.
You hate to see that.
2 or 3 times as much money.
You definitely hate to see the red light turn on in the lane. I definitely would much rather, and I personally, I don't care who it is in the lane. If the red light's off and everybody's clean and green, then the race is going to be bananas at this level. So I would much rather see 0 red lights than anybody walk through a red light. Hats off to Champ, man. You drove your butt off when you watch this and hear this, man. That I just got done talking to him over the phone, asking for some fuel line and a Zeus wrench so that I don't booger up all my Zeuses. And he said, "I'll talk to you Monday. I'm out here racing." That's how Champ is, man. This dude answered his phone while he's at the racetrack.
Dude, don't forget about the fact that old Champ is
taking parts calls and stuff whenever he's sitting in the car.
Gee
right.
whiz.
That's exactly what I was just getting ready to say verbatim. That's exactly what I was getting ready to say. That dude offers the best customer service of anybody that I have ever experienced. And this year, of all years, with all of the part shortages, I had, I got this Firebird. I don't know if you know that, Brad, but I got this Firebird. I traded my Malibu for it. And I needed, obviously, a lot of parts because it was built in 1995. I needed to do a ton of stuff to it. It actually had a fuse panel that was eons older than all of us on this stream right now. This fuse panel, my dad said he hasn't seen one like that since the 70s. And so anyway, I don't know if Brad heard that. This thing had a glass fuse panel in it. My dad said he hadn't seen those since the 70s, like in a hot rod magazine or something like that. So I had to update everything. Well, guess what? After it's all said and done, a lot of the parts were out of stock everywhere, just like they are with anything right now. And I called Champ. I said, hey, this is the parts list that I need. These are the numbers. What can you do for me? He called me. I called him. He was leaving his house, literally pulling out of his driveway to go to Darlington. Which, by the way, he won that $100,000 race that day at Darlington. I called him that morning. I said, hey, man, you get my parts list? He said, yeah, I'm working on it right now. I brought my laptop. I'll figure it out for you tomorrow. He figures it out, gets all this stuff for me. Between rounds, he says, hey, I found this. Okay, I'm going up the lanes. Hey, I found this. Okay, I'm going up the lanes. Next day, he calls me and says, hey, I got everything figured out. You want me to charge you the same card and the same address? We'll send it there. I said, yeah. He said, okay, here in 2 days. Jags couldn't get it. Summit couldn't get it. Champ Performance got it.
Seems to be the way it goes with Champ right now, man. BG, did we lose you?
No.
Cool.
I'm just sitting back and
soaking it in, huh?
Soaking it in, man.
Soaking it in.
Yeah, and that's the thing, it's so easy to like quickly jump on it. You automatically think Jags and Summit, from growing up, just that stuff gets beat into your brain, and the stuff that I'm waiting on, that I would wait on 3 or 4 weeks with Jags. I mean, Chump's usually got it.
Hey, I don't think we have to rename Dylan Champion at this point. But hey, Champ, whenever you see Brad, can I be around, or do you already know he calls you Chump? I think you already know.
No, Chump. No,
he knows it. He knows it, doesn't he? He's the man.
Champ's the man. Chump just comes out. It's a speech impediment.
I got you. Well, Brad, man, hey, certainly, man, on behalf of Going Bracket Racing, I think that we'll probably try to slate you for the Winter Series if you're ready to come live on Going Bracket Racing video style with Skype and everything else, and let's really get to know Brad Gephardt, man, and get your information out there. And I know you are you're talking to one of the slot car kings, in my opinion, and I'm painting another target on him. He's gonna have to be perfect next time he goes.
Brad, where you won the most money?
I'm killing him. Listen.
Where have you won the most money? Have you won the most money slot car racing? You run the most money in a race car?
In a race car? I'll answer that.
Wait. The slot car is not a race car. I just want to make that clear.
I'm still pretty young in my slot car career, but we're gonna go try to run the 125th scale million, and I think that paid like $30,000 to win last year. So hey, we got to do something in the winter.
Hey, you know what? And Going Bracket Racing is going to be here to promote it. And definitely, man, I might have to give you a call while you're out there racing it too, But, hey, man, thanks a bunch. And make sure you get us the measurements on that old Sunbird so we can get you a helmet hook out to your house.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for coming on, BG.
Yes,
all right, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brad Gephardt, longtime friend. I've known him for a long time. He's been a longtime follower of the Going Bracket Racing YouTube channel. We all grew up in the same area, guys, so it's kind of fitting to see somebody win it, to win one of those hooks. Casey, we got another question?
Yeah, we do, and this is going to be relevant, and you better get it right now because it could all change.
Hold on, I'm about to put my headphones back in.
This could change in the finals.
Yeah, man, you're good. Go ahead and shoot the question out. I'm gonna get my Facebook back up and make sure I've got the chat.
The question is, are you ready? You ready for the question?
I'm ready.
Question is, how many door cars have won the OG million? And you better get it in before the finals or you could be wrong.
Uh-oh. Guys got to hurry up. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to be nice and I'm going to say that this will not count today because I really have a feeling that Scotty Richardson is going to crown himself OG million winner. And
I hope so.
It's going to be hard to stop him, in my opinion. So we have no answers yet. I'm watching. I see nothing on Facebook. I have one answer so far. The answer is 4.
The answer.
Don't give the answer yet. Is that right or wrong?
That's wrong.
That's wrong. We're still good to go. We don't have the answer yet to the question: how many door cars have won the OG million? The answer is not 4.
Who was the person answering?
That was David Hearn that answered first. This is Jerry 3567.
That's JR. What's he say?
Jerry 3567, or he said 7.
Nope. You're wrong, JR. And your statistics are incorrect.
Jeff Bonifield said the same thing. He said 7. David Hearn goes back and said, then it's 3.
Nope.
The answer is wrong, David Hearn.
Better narrow it down. Y'all better get on there.
I've got nobody on Facebook answering yet. I'm going to make sure. Let me make sure of that.
How'd Jeff and Jerry answer the exact same thing? They're probably right next to each other.
Now we're getting answers just out the wazoo as they're just throwing them out there on us now. Let's see. I'll get the going back racing stream back up, make sure. That was
my dad always, George, my dad has always said since I was a little kid, lucky's better than good. So whoever throws the right answer out there, lucky's better than good.
I got Jerry McCracken here, and he says 6.
Nope.
Jerry, I was hoping for you, buddy.
We're narrowing it down.
We're getting there. I mean, shoot. How many have we had? Let's do that. How many OG millions have there been now?
25 or 6.
25
this is
26.
I believe this is 25. Silver anniversary. Is that right?
Brad Gephardt says 5.
Brad would be right, but Brad already won, so he can't count.
If you heard it, I'm waiting on the first person to give me the answer. If you heard it, the answer has been given in the chat. Who's going to say it first? Who's going to say it first? The answer's already been given. Brad Gephardt has given.
Who is it?
It's Jerry Bonifield, but he's answered like 17 times. So I don't know if I can give it to him. Jeff's answer. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's hold. Ask the next question. We're not going to crown a winner there because the winner already won. Let's ask the next question.
All right. So, the next question, Brad, don't answer. You already won. Don't answer. Put it down. Everybody heard that, right? Mm-hmm. Brad can't answer. He's going to ruin it.
Nor can Troy Abercrombie. Troy, you can't answer either.
I'm out of question can't win. After this.
Correct.
Who has won the most million finals? Or who has been, redo. We already did that. Who has been in the most $1 million finals for the OG million?
There's the question. Who has been in the most million for the OG million? Who's been to the finals the most times? And this is a name. If you've been watching Motor Mania any today, you're going to know it. I've got one answer here. I believe it's going to be right. David Hearn says triplet.
Yep.
We got a winner. David Hearn wins. Mr. BRG Motorsports 3D printed motorsports parts. A helmet hook goes to David Hearn. David, all you got to do is send me a Facebook message with the measurements, and I'll get it over to and your address as well. I'll get it over to Mr. Brian Garrett.
We can reuse the how many door cars have won the million. We know it's 5 now. We can reuse it because I wrote it down. Who were they?
Okay, so we're going back to the last question. How many door cars have won the OG million? We know the answer is 5. Who were the 5 winners? For another helmet hook.
Make sure I have 5 written down. I do.
You better have 5 written down.
I got them all written down. I'm telling you.
I promise that if you go to Facebook, first you got to hit subscribe on YouTube. But there's a comment in Facebook from someone that I know near and dear who might just have already wrote the answer inside of the Facebook chat. So I'm helping as much as I can over there on that Facebook side. Somebody already wrote the answer. You might want to start scrolling up. At least
George,
it's going to be close.
In the meantime, let's talk about this final round. Let's talk about this final round. We got a potential, no matter who wins, is going to be a first-time winner. Believe it or not, Scotty Richardson has never won the OG million. Now, that being said, is it going to be, how are you going to feel if Scotty Richardson wins this versus loses this? Are you going to feel good for the guy who wins? Because like we said earlier in this entire stream, this sets people's careers. Shane Carr, Troy Williams Jr., Edmund Richardson. Edmund was already doing that. It's not really fair. Sure. Dave Triplett, Gary Williams, Randall Reed, Jeff Verdi, Kevin Brannon. The greats have won this race. This is the race.
So remind me, who is his opponent?
His opponent is Adam Russell.
And that blower dragster? I would have to say that, and just to answer your question about Scotty Richardson winning it, never met the guy. Never been around him. Don't know much about him except for he's a heck of a drag racer. Okay? And Scotty, you can listen to this, man. I hope you win this, but don't line up to me in the pits because I'm going to put you on the trailer. I don't care. I'm kind of that.
If you can do that, you've done something. I'll tell you that.
Look, I'm at least going to go into the race thinking that I can do it. You know what I'm saying? You're never going to get me to say I can't do anything.
It's half the battle.
It's half the battle right there. So we still don't have an answer yet. Just for the record. But
you can never sell yourself short because the other guy already has.
That's correct.
The other guy has already beat you in his head. So if you beat you in your
own head, you lost.
You lost.
You know what I mean? So I would really say that for Scotty Richardson to win this race, in my opinion, you might be looking at the GOAT. And the only reason I'm saying that is because, and I know going bracket racing, I think Erica Enders is the GOAT of pro stock, right? But she's gonna be eventually, is what I'm getting at there. In this particular resume, in this particular sport of bracket racing, the name Scotty Richardson has been synonymous in every big bracket race you can think of. Scotty Richardson has probably won it. And for this to be the last one to check off, as I see the screen says 299 entries today. What a showing, guys. Congratulations to the folks, the OG million. You guys have made my week, to say the least. But for Scotty Richardson to win it, I really think that's going a long way to crown your GOAT in the sport of bracket racing, in my opinion. Nobody else can say they've won them all like that. And I don't know who to pit against them. Maybe we'll get a history buff who can go back into the archives and show us and kind of match it up for us. But I don't know anybody who's done this level of racing like Scotty Richardson.
George, do you think that this may potentially be the only time right now, we're talking Eastern time, we're at South Georgia right now, I'm in North Carolina, we're in the same time zone, 10:13 p.m. on October 22nd, 2021. Is this the only time Scotty Richardson might have had butterflies in his stomach for 20 years? It might be.
Scotty Richardson has butterflies in his stomach until he starts that car and moves into the burnout box. The other reason I say that is because Scotty Richardson is a machine. One wise man once told me, named Troy Williams, I am a machine. All you have to do is be a machine for the amount of time where you move from the burnout box to the stage beam, all the way down the track, and then you can stop being a machine again. Technically, so I understand routine. And Kevin Little said he heard from, he thinks that having routines can bite you. Because in your mind, if you don't do something, now you're in your own head. Well, I wonder if Scotty Richardson even has a routine past when I pull into that burnout box, my routine begins.
So it's going to be a minute until this final round happens, first of all.
Yeah.
Do you have Kevin Lloyd's number? We know he's online. Call him real quick and let's just see what he says.
We'll see if he picks up. Hold on. Let's see. Do I have Kevin Lloyd's number? Do I have his number? What kind of question was that? I have Kevin Lloyd's number. Let's see if he picks up the phone.
I'm going to talk to him.
Yeah. Live
Kevin
on the Going
Little.
Bracket Racing YouTube channel.
Hey.
Kevin Little.
Kevin Little, how you doing, my friend?
What you got for him, Casey?
Man, I just want to ask him, what's your feelings? I know you're watching live right now. I know you heard us talk about Scotty. In your opinion, do you think that Scotty Richardson right now, do you think this is the first time he's had butterflies in his stomach in the last 20 years?
One moment, Case. I could barely hear you. Let me put my headset in.
Yeah. And I'll re-ask the question for you too, because it's a little soft. Now I had one mic go out as the problem, Casey. One of my microphones went out today, and I couldn't get it to work. I didn't say that the whole time, but that's the culprit. Kevin, let me know when you're ready, and I'll re-ask that question for you. That way you can hear it just straight from my phone to you instead of through my computer to the phone to you.
Okay, I'm ready.
You ready? Okay, so Casey's question to you was, out of all the years that Scotty Richardson has been racing, do you think this is one of the first times that he's ever had butterflies before going into a race?
Longest I've known Scotty, I'm going to say yes, because, me seeing Scotty race throughout the years is like he had ice water in his veins. I mean, I've seen Scotty race here at Little River Drag Race right here in Texas before. So, and then, I seen him in Houston, and I seen him all over. To say Scotty is nervous, then it's a big deal. I've never seen him, been nervous for a race.
So, Kev, do you think if Scotty wins this race, it would be bigger, even though monetarily it will not be as big as his, quote, $1 million win last year? Do you think that Scotty, you think this race means more to Scotty than any other race he's ever done? I mean, you got to also know he's one of the few that's, I think, been back-to-back Super Gas championships, something like that. I mean, he's been at the highest of the highs in every single level of our sport. Why do you think the OG Million is so important to Scotty?
Well, this is me on the OG Million. I typed in text earlier. The OG Million is almost like the Indy of bracket racing now. If you want to put it in context for us as bracket racers, we would look at the OG Million as being the Indy or the U.S. Nationals of bracket racing. And yes, if you put your name on that list, it's like almost putting your name on the Mount Rushmore of drag racing. So yeah, it's a big deal. Even though it's not, like you said, one of the most lucrative paying races, but it's the one that has the most prestige just because of the name.
Well, look at the names that are on that list. Like if you have bricks on the ground, your name's on the brick in the ground and all that kind of stuff. Like they do at the Indianapolis 500 and stuff like that. Look at these names. I mean, you sit here, you got like Kevin Brennan, and these are like, I'm literally just pulling these out of my head. And obviously last year was Kevin Brennan. You got Edmund, Scotty's brother. You got TJ Tracy. You got Troy. You got Gary multiple times. You got Kenny Underwood multiple times. Dave Triplett multiple times. And it just goes on and on and on. And Shane Carr. And we're getting ready.
Let's pause. Let's bring the finals up.
Yep.
Let's bring them up. I'm going to piggyback off what Casey's saying here, basically to say that what he said about his brother, Edmund Richardson, winning this already, is relevant. Because it's family bragging rights as well. So hang on a minute here.
Left side, Scott. The Chevy 2 down 573 out of Barberville. You go across all the different types of $1 million events. This is his fourth $1 million race final.
Fourth $1 million race final.
Wow. Let me see. If you want to hang up and get on your cell phone real quick, you can. I'll call you back.
Okay.
Yep. Bye. I'm calling it right here. Scotty Richardson will be 12 total. 12.
On the starting line, Scotty's in. Adam's in. Tree fires.
He's late. Scotty's late. Scotty's late.
Adam.
No.
Russell, 15, take 15. Puts him 7. Thou.
Scotty
under.
still is
Scotty,
eluded.
let's go 40.
40.
Puts it
I would have
17,
never
Thou
saw
under
that
the
coming.
dial. Adam Russell. Thompson, $1 million race winner.
Scotty still is eluded by the $1 million race, man. I feel bad for him, man.
He still hasn't been able to turn on that. But when that car reacted to the bottom ball, I knew he missed.
Congratulations to Scotty Richardson on the runner-up. Adam Russell,
I mean, watch the
your
replay.
$1 million
It looks like
race
he just,
winner.
you can tell he missed it. That car does not react like it needed to.
All the interviews downstairs.
Like I said, man, this might be the only race that Scotty Richardson could have butterflies in his stomach. That, you know what I mean? I feel bad for the guy because Ryan just said, Ryan Gleghorn, by the way, who I actually just talked to earlier this morning, who is going to be on the Going Bracket Racing YouTube channel later, and in my opinion is going to be the Brett Kepner of our generation about bracket racing, just said that Scotty has been in $4 million races finals, and I don't think that means the OG million. I know he's been in one final of the OG million, and he won the Spring Fling million last year. But this race just eludes him, man. It always eludes Scotty Richardson one way or another. This may be the one race that gets him nervous.
And I'm thinking that there's something to it, you know. The prestige of winning this is something else, man, as the fireworks go off there for...
But let's not get stuck on this, George, because I know we're getting ready to. But let's not forget Adam Russell just won the OG million.
That's a good point. And to be 15, take 15, and be under. And I wonder what he was thinking when he caught Scotty. Everybody knows Scotty's going to have a little bit of candy in his pocket for the most part. So you think when he caught him, he said, "All right, I caught him way too early. I'm going to just drag him through with me and just hope that I'm closer to the dial."
You're right. He could have easily made the wrong decision and been like, "This is Scotty Richardson. There's no way he's dialed on us. I'm going to stay behind." And he chose not to.
Yep.
He made the right choice.
Yep.
I mean, he deserved to win this race.
And I brought it up for a reason, too, because of that exact point. You have to make the right decision. The race looks different to you, but Scotty's probably got candy in his pocket, so he's making it look even worse. And you catch him. Did he let you catch him? Am I the one under? You know what I mean?
But Adam Russell trusted himself, and he knew what he was doing, and he won that race.
So let me ask you this, and this is not going to be a dig at anything, but Scotty Richardson is the caliber of a racer that I would deem able to know when he's let the button go 00 or anything close to it. When he let go, he had to have known he was 40. Why didn't he drop the brake through the floor pan?
Well, here's the problem. First of all, he was leaving first.
True.
So, number one, you know Scotty Richardson has a bump down in that car.
True.
Once you let go, the second and a half bulb is on, if you would want to say it that way. The second and a half bulb is on. If you hit it once, okay, you can bump down. Let's say you got 20 in there. You bump down 20. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. That's not going to help you win a race. Well, you're out there just hoping for the best. At the end of the day, Scotty's only option was to hope that this old boy blows around him, never lifts. It just goes way under.
So, but here's the thing. The other car did go under. He was under by 8 thou, I believe.
But
so, do you think Scotty dropped him?
What was his mile an hour? Let's rewind it. Let me see.
Let's do that.
Let me see.
I got you. Oh, we're going to live stream too.
Those remaining 40.
All right. So I see it right here. Scotty's.
I've got it on live stream. I'm pulled up.
117 mile an hour at 571. That's probably right. He probably.
No way. I go 115 at 596.
Well, it's probably a little low.
He probably lost about 3 mile an hour, you think?
It depends on what the car weighs.
Well, I'm watching too. I want to see the car react.
Because my 3,000-pound car.
Well, you know that car's light.
I've been 113 going high 6.0s. So, in my Malibu, whenever I had it, I had been 590s at 115, maybe something like that. So he dropped. He definitely dropped.
He dropped a little, but I think he could have dropped a lot more.
He was trying to drop close to dead on, but still be in front. But look at this, George. 117.18, 162.14.
True.
I can tell you from driving both types of cars that neither one of them, well, Scotty might be able to, but I can tell you that the average guy, which I suspect Adam Russell would say he's an average guy, he was going to dial something and try to go dead on.
So
somewhere.
Let's get Kevin Oy's take. I said I'd call him back, and this will be the last bit there. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Well, what are your thoughts on that one, Kevin Oy? We over here discussing what we think happened there. What are you calling it?
Yes, I was looking at your high-profile replay there, George.
Yeah. What do you think you saw, Kevin?
Well, I did see he was a little late, but I thought he would have, dropped a little more because you got to think the other guy, I thought he was just going to kamikaze it, which he did because, I had the chance to race Scotty before, and I knew what I was going to do. I know he holds a little bit, I think. I saw him running out the back door.
Yep, I think you're right there because I think that the other driver's thinking, all right, this is Scotty Richardson. I am not getting off the gas. Well, in this particular case, I really think Scotty could have dropped his brake through the floorboard and actually picked up the win here because the other guy's 8 thou under. Now, catching the drop there is everything I say here, don't get me wrong, guys, is easier said than done. And in the heat of the moment, who's gonna do it? I don't really know. What you got, Casey? Hold on, I can't hear you. I know I agree with Casey earlier. Yeah. Hold on here. Casey, you are out of sound altogether. Hold on. Maybe it's on my end. Let me check. Hold on. Let's see. Let's go to me. Say something, Casey. Nope. Hold on. Say something, Casey. Nope, I lost you. Got me on mute, don't you?
Yeah.
I hear you coming back. Can you hear him, Kevin West?
I can hear you just fine.
So,
Casey do sign language.
Yeah. So, Kev, you know as good as anybody. You're not judging 40 mile an hour, no matter what. You're not doing that. And I think Scott killed a little bit. But 160 miles an hour coming on you, driving a door car, they're not there. You drop them at mile an hour, they're there. You know what I mean? And I think that Scotty knew that because, like we said, Scotty's one of the greatest drivers of all time. He knows what's happening. He killed a little bit, but he had missed the tree so bad it wasn't happening.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm going to go again, and Kevin, I'm going to let you piggyback off this one. Basically, Casey is saying, if you couldn't hear him, You basically, as a door car, you get down by the mile-an-hour cone, and you're thinking drop, but by the time you get ready to drop at that mile-an-hour cone, that dragster's there. There's nothing you can do about it.
I agree.
But
Definitely.
in this case, and this is easier said than done. This is only analysis right here. When I let go of a button 40, I know I'm 40. I know I'm late at least. I can put it that way. I know I didn't crush it. The first thought that I have in my mind from there is, how far behind can I get? And I think that's what you're alluding to, Kevin. What do you think?
That's correct. But, my driving style is every time I release a button, I think it's good, George.
True. ain't nothing wrong with that either.
Well, you have to assume that, because if you don't assume that you were better on the tree than the other guy, then no matter what your strategy is, you've lost. Because if you can't, there is no strategy that says, oh, I was 30 on the tree and my man was triple zero. It's not possible. Because if you're holding those numbers, you might be able to kill those three in the lights. But if your man's over here and he's, first of all, even if he is holding and you're holding those three, he's going to be like, well, dude, I'm holding 3 too, and I'm still way out in front of you. You know what I mean? So bottom line, you got to get to dead on. I don't care if you do it by dialing dead on. I don't care if you do it by holding. I don't care if you lift it to 330, but you have to get to dead on no matter what happens.
I can hear it. I'm looking at him too, because there's a little bit of delay.
Yep. And I don't know. I think you're right too, though, Casey. I'm gonna let Kevin catch up as well and answer your question. But there's a lot to say about that round of racing. There's a lot that you can digest and unpackage, and maybe you're right, but maybe we're wrong at the same time. There's just so much going on there, to say the least. So
you can't beat mile an hour.
True.
No.
And like Casey said earlier, you can't beat mile an hour. I mean, I've run some of the quickest dragsters out there. So you got to stick to your plan.
Yep.
Right.
I agree with that.
The one thing that Adam Russell can say, and by the way, check this out, George. Isn't this a little weird? Look at this. Look at the two top names on that list.
I think that's like upside down, backwards Chinese, man. I can't read that.
Well, anyway, so I had listed in the 6th round, I had listed who was left. And the number 1 is Scotty, and the number 1 on the dragster side is Adam Russell.
Well, I tell you what, guys. On behalf of Going Bracket Racing, Kevin Noy Little, thanks for picking up your phone while we were live. And we're gonna close them out. We might try to do this again next week. Who knows? We got another $1 million race coming up. So, but thanks for stepping in.
All right, man.
We'll see. Okay, bye-bye.
Appreciate you, Kev.
Casey, man, anything in closing?
No, man, just the only thing I have to say in closing is congratulations to Adam Russell, because you beat the best there ever has been in the bracket racing world, and one day Scotty Richardson's going to win one of these, and he's going to retire, and it's going to be a lot easier for the rest of us.
And I will say, this has not changed my mind on who I would say is, and it's hard in bracket racing to take anything less than a top 5. Scotty Richardson is definitely inside of that top 5. So you got to call him the GOAT of at least the co-GOAT in that light. So on behalf of Bracket Racing, of Going Bracket Racing YouTube channel, thanks to everybody for tuning in. And can't thank Brian Garrett over at BRG Motorsports, 3D printed motorsports parts, for giving away a few helmet hooks. Guys, when you get those helmet hooks, I bet you give Brian Garrett a call for those seatbelt magnets. I love them. If your seatbelt's metal, is it metal, Casey? Is that what we figured out?
Yeah, you just pop them in there, and
pop
then
them
obviously
right on the back, man. Them seatbelts, you'll never go looking for them again. You'll never look for your seatbelts.
But here's one thing I want to say too. the reason this particular stream was great is because of Dylan Green, Dylan Champion, Brad Gebhart, Kevin Oyd Little, everybody that we called in this stream. We really appreciate you answering your phone, man, and that's what made it what it was. We'll do it again for the guaranteed million, and we'll have a good time, man. This is what going bracket racing is all about. We appreciate all of you. And other than that, I guess, George, can I say it? Can I say it?
You got it.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
Peace out, guys.